Welcome back to part 3 of The Debt Collector, our final part. Enjoy. Chapter 9. Bargaining with Darkness. Days passed, though they felt like years. For the first times he couldn't get the hang of it, but eventually he adapted to the days that repeated themselves. James felt, despite the few days he'd spent searching for his son, that he was growing significantly older somehow. Not in terms of appearance, but he felt sure his vitality was being drained somehow. The police investigation into Ethan's disappearance yielded nothing but dead ends. Rebecca became a shell of herself, her want spirit dimmed by grief and fear. James, racked with guilt, couldn't bring himself to confess what he knew. The whispers returned each night, growing louder, more insistent. They mocked him, reminding him of the deal he'd made. The shadows in the house deepened, moving in unnatural ways, as if they were alive and watching. James knew he couldn't keep silent any longer. He returned to the park where he'd first met Victor Crow, clutching a hastily written note begging for an audience. He placed it on the same bench where they'd spoken, hoping the strange man would hear his desperate plea. That night, as the house lay silent, James awoke to the faint smell of sulphur. He opened his eyes to find Victor standing at the foot of his bed, impeccably dressed as always, his expression one of mild amusement. "You called," Victor said, his tone smooth and mocking. James scrambled out of bed, his heart hammering in his chest. "You took my son, bring him back." Victor raised an eyebrow. "Took? No, James, I merely collected what was owed. A transaction, nothing more." James clenched his fists. "You never said it would cost my family." Victor's smile widened, his teeth gleaming unnaturally in the dim light. "Did you bother to ask?" He gestured casually, the shadows around him twisting and writhing. "You were desperate, and desperation blinds men to the fine print." James dropped to his knees. "Please," he begged, tears streaming down his face. "Please, I'll do anything. Just give him back." Victor studied him for a long moment, then sighed theatrically. "Anything, you say? Well, there is one option." James's head snapped up. "What is it?" "I'll do it." Victor's grin turned cruel. "A trade, your life for his." James's stomach dropped, but he didn't hesitate. "Yes, take me instead," Victor chuckled darkly. "Oh, James, it's never that simple. You see, I don't want just your life, I want your soul. Forever, no peace, no rest, an eternity of servitude." James faltered, the weight of Victor's words crashing over him. But the image of Ethan, his bright eyes, his laughter,